welcome to our weekly BDP team webinar. And this is Alex Kokin calling in from Florida, and I want to thank you all for joining us. And tonight's guest will be the Billion Dollar Project founder, George Ruiz. Before we get started, George, I just wanted to point out that on the How to Get Going website, we have a link now to the secret BDP Facebook group, and I'm just gonna click on it right now, and maybe you can tell us a little bit about this group and why it would be important for our everybody to participate in it.
Hi guys, so important to and by the way, good night first, good evening, how's everybody? But anyway, the reason we created this on the group is so important for you to be there because you can ask questions, you can see information about what is happening, not only in our group, but also what is happening in the world of isogenics and also in the entire world of network marketing and now anti-aging. But it's really important, guys. If you have any question, make sure you post it there. If you have any idea, you can ask, put it there too. You can ask questions. We can have chats if it's necessary. Make sure you put a lot of activity. Right now, we have invited, I think we have about 60 members now, or 61. Perfect. We are going to have, this is a group that at least for the next few 30 days, we're not going to have a huge group, but eventually our goal is to have over 1,000 people. Right now, we probably are going to be adding around 40 more people in the next 15 or 18 days. Mostly are people that are following the BDP right now. Also, we are going to be very important. We are going to have any new trainings and everything are going to be linked there. We are going to have documents sometimes that are important. They're going to be also there. Right now, we have one document, as you can see there, document one, isogenics one, and you can read a little more about those are news that usually we have their document that you can download and copy. But anyway, anything else you want me to say?
Yeah, actually, I just wanted to remind everyone that on the How to Get Going site, on the bottom right of the screen, you will see our little area where you can join the BDP notification list. And it's really important that you join it because actually you will be getting notifications about special events, about our webinars and calls via email. But most importantly, if you enter your cell phone number, you will be getting these notifications via text messaging. And that's one of the most effective ways to communicate. And imagine, you would be getting, for example, a call, a text message 15 minutes before our weekly call or 30 minutes before our weekly webinar, and that should give you a time reminder to get prepared for it, to call your team members to join you and so on. So very important, at the bottom right of the How to Get Going site, we will have this new notification list join form. So, and that's about it. And George, then why don't we get started with your presentation?
Okay, perfect. I think you have to give me the
yes, I will make you the presenter.
Okay, cool.
And should be seeing this shortly, and there we go.
Okay, right now you probably are seeing my screen, correct?
Yes, we're seeing your screen. And
okay, the system that never failed. That sounds like a miracle pill. But let me tell you guys, it doesn't matter what other different networkers call it and different companies, etc. But the system always is the same. It has a very few steps, and it's really simple. But because it's so simple, some people don't follow. Before, I have to say something else about the BDP social media. The reason it's called social media is because we're going to be talking a lot about social media. Right now, there are so many developments. Tonight, I'm going to present it, but mostly this is documents about the steps. And by the way, the steps works these are the same steps that were 50, 60 years ago when network marketing started becoming popular, when chat started very heavy in the 50s. And these steps apply even today. Even if you're 100% on social media, the same steps apply. What is changing right now is the delivery, the way that you are delivering. By the way, when I say changing, it's not really changing, it's adding on. It's adding on the way of delivery, but the basics are the same. A good example, I can say the same. The first plane, the Wright brothers, when they flew, they only flew a few feet. However, the principles for that plane are the same principles that a jetliner has today. You can go from Europe or from here to Australia, travel for several hours, over 15 hours in the plane, and still, but the principles are the same. It's just that the vehicle, the delivery is different. The same thing when network marketing started was a door-to-door sales. Yes, people really believe me, door-to-door sales in the early 50s, in the mid-50s. And then it kept evolving. Meetings start appearing, and then tools start appearing. Telephones start being used. Then we have videos, and then etc. But the basics again are exactly the same. The basics never change, and it's wise to when you are doing any kind of prospecting or when you're doing your business, you have to make sure that you always are following all the steps. Because if you don't do all the steps, eventually your business is gonna crash. Or never is going to grow, one of the two. But anyway, let's start it. And I call it, again, the system that never fails, because when a person consistently does this every day, and when I say every day, it doesn't have to be 7 days a week, it could be only 5 days a week, and that's what basically I say. When I say every day, it's really 5 days a week. And you do it for 12 months, and you do it right, it's almost sure that by the end of those 12 months, you are making enough money that you can quit your job. Kathy Cooper came up with an article called Six Figures in 6 Months. And I tell you, I'd say in 12 months or less, but you can do it even in 6 months. Just read that article. But anyway, let's start it. This is important. Simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. This guy, I don't know if you're familiar with this guy, Leonardo da Vinci, but we are talking about a guy that was a great artist, inventor, philosopher, everything. And he came up with this. Many people were thinking, yeah, but you learn is complex. But it's basically also, but it was always based on really simple concepts. Everything that he created. Okay, let's start it here. Last week we learned part of the system, because when you heard about making a 10-name list with your new associates, that's part of the system. When how to use the memory jogger, that's part of the system. When you talk about creating the team, that's part of the system. Now, what we are going to talk today is how you can put all this in action and when. Because if you are doing it every day, and why are you doing it every day and why you're not doing it every day. And I'm going to go to the next one. Tonight you will learn the system that never fails. All the steps are the steps necessary, the follow-up process. I'm going to just talk a little more about the follow-up here. I'm not going to go deep into other details except a little more into the follow-up, although it's just going to be enough, not very deep, but enough for you guys to understand why it's so important. Now, the system is really important. Now, it's made of six actions, 3 that you do every day, and the other ones that you don't do every day, but you do it consistently too. And you're going to know why I'm saying that. The first one, you are connecting with people. Every time you are connecting, it doesn't matter if you're doing it in person or you are doing it over the telephone or you're doing it over Facebook. You always do connection. The second part, okay, I don't know what happened, but I got disconnected for a second.
You're
Are
back
you there?
now.
Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Okay. The first one, connect. Then the second one is to present. Every day, you have to make sure that you are presenting. Now, when I say presenting in the old times, in the 1950s, you actually have to sit down every day with at least 2 people doing a full presentation. Today, that's not necessary. We're going to talk about that. The third one is the follow-up. These activities have to be done every day, because you always have, if you're connecting with people every day and you're presenting every day, obviously you are going to be following up every day. Also, you are going to be working with your new associates doing follow-up too. Now, then we have the next one, enroll. That would be cool if we enroll every day, but we know it's not necessary true in most cases. However, um, and this is a promise that one of my coaches on social media says, when you get to enough contacts a day, actually you can enroll one person every day. And that's a really powerful process. But Ellen, let's talk about enrolling. The next one is teaching. You're teaching all the time to people, and the last one is you repeat the process. And this you repeat the process over and over again. Some people stop, and I had made that mistake in the past. Sometimes they stop, and they think because they have already two people, those two people are going to build those two legs, and you're going to max out and make $702,000 a year. Oh, that's not the case. You have to keep prospecting, connecting, presenting, and following up. Those three: connecting, presenting, and follow all the time. And of course, you have to keep enrolling too, and then you are going to keep teaching. You're not going to stop teaching after a while, and you repeat the process. Now, many people say, well, what if I want to retire? Well, you can retire when you have an organization that's moving really quick at high speed. But at the beginning, it's so important to repeat this process. And many people say, well, on income, on money, when do I stop? Well, you have a solid organization where you're making probably about $10,000, $15,000 a month. Or in other words, when you have at least three and four stars in two legs, 3 and 4 star people in two legs on each leg. Okay, let's go to the next one. Okay, now these three, as I said, you do 5 days a week. You connect with people, you present minimum 2 people using the tools. Now, I'm not saying connecting to 2. I'm talking about presenting. And again, what are the tools? Well, you send people to our website. You present them in person. You are sending links to the videos. You are passing out something. This is every day. And the last one is follow-up, as I say. And now, if you do this is just going to take you about 1 to 2 hours a day. And by the way, the 1 to 2 hours a day, they don't have to be 60 minutes in a row. You can have, for example, if you have 60 minutes, you can have 30 minutes or 30 minutes, or like Alex does when he's prospecting. He does it in the first 5 minutes of the hour, and he's calling people to prospect. And this is an interesting concept. And basically, that is about an hour or 2 hours a day, depending on how many hours he's going through the day, having this alarm. And by the way, another time you can hear that, listen to Alex saying that, but he has an alarm at the top of the hour that's telling him, okay, you have to make prospecting calls for the next 5 minutes. Anyway, let's talk about this. Very important. Think about this. This is really deep. The first time that I heard it, I probably kind of didn't get it. But look at this. Perfection is the lowest standard of achievement. Doing is the highest. Perfection is the lowest standard of achievement. Doing is the highest. This is by Andy Jenkins. Andy Jenkins is one of my heroes and coaches right now. He's a movie producer, and also he's big internet marketing. I mean, this guy, when I heard it the first time in one of his seminars, I said, whoa, what that means? Well, guys, people that are looking for perfection, they never start. They never do anything. Everything that the people, the achievers, they are doing, and that's why they get to really high goals. And that's what we are going to do. That's what we are going to do, is to go into action. You don't have to be perfect or anything. Just doing it. And this guy tells the story when he was making movies at first. He would say, I made so many mistakes. But anyway, again, the goal is to do it. And remember this part. This is so important. I think I heard it about only a month ago in one of his webinars. And again, perfection is the lowest standard of achievement. Doing is the highest. Now, let's connect first. What is connect? Well, you call your top 10 user scripts. Remember when Adrienne Carbonell last week, she was talking about the top 10? Well, that's a way. You are calling the top 10. And this is every week you get 10 more. It's 10 a day, 10 people. The next one, send messages to friends on Facebook using the scripts. Now, you see the word use scripts. Tomorrow, when you see recorded this message, it's going to be a link where you can download the different scripts. Interesting. The same scripts that work for Facebook, those scripts work also when you are talking on the phone or face-to-face. I've been testing it, and it's amazing. And that's something that we will be covering in another call. But this is really cool. Chat with people on social media. Use the scripts. As this is the way that you are connecting every day with at least 2 people a day. one of the powers of social media that you can do more than that. But let's talk about for now for two people that you are doing. Excuse me. This is the people that you're connecting. They actually you're presenting to at least two people a day. And let me go back here. You probably have to connect to more than two people in order to have this minimum two presentations a day. Let me say something. Two presentations a day keep the bill collector away. Send people to watch videos online. That's a way that you get the presentations. You send people to webinars online. Later in the future, very near future, you're going to listen to a tremendous tool. You're going to hear about tremendous tool that Alex has been working on. That is could be presentations online. The next one is do one-on-one presentations that you can do face-to-face or on the telephone. Invite people to meetings. You see, all these ways you can cover two people a day. And with exception if you are going to a meeting or you are doing a one-on-one, the other ones, they are automatic. You send people there, and they are going to be there doing watching those presentations. You can have 10 people a day, 20 people a day doing presentations, watching presentations. This is really, really important, again, minimum two people a day. And again, we are talking about 5 days a week. Now, the follow is really important. And I'm going to go a little deeper here on the script that we have. And again, this script, you are going to see it tomorrow. Follow-up is so important. And this is one of the biggest, I would say, problems that we have in this industry. People do not follow up, or they follow only once and they think, I burned my warm market. It's so important that you follow when the person says yes or no. Doesn't matter. Now, these are some of the questions that I have. First, what do you like the most? And now, this is after the person has seen the presentation now. And the reason that we want to know is what do they like the most, because we want them to sell themselves. Because sometimes if we go right away and say, can you see yourself doing this? And then at first, some people are going to be struck and say, well, wait a minute, I can't still connect the dots in what I saw. But when you say, what do you like the most? A person is going to tell you what they like. And the second one is, what else do you like? You want to reaffirm this. And these questions are really important. By the way, these questions are no random questions. They came from, actually, they're psychological questions. If you have studied NLP, or you will understand that these questions has a very important meaning. Now, how much would you like to earn? And you can ask per month or per year. Some people feel more comfortable saying per year or per month. But anyway, we want to know that, because the next one is why or what do you want to accomplish? And the reason this is so important is because doing what you are doing now, how long will it take you to reach that goal? Now, you have seen this question in another webinar that we had before, where you can ask when you are talking to people for the first time. But when you ask this question, you want to make sure that the person understands that isogenics is the alternative that they have. If they keep doing what they are doing, probably never are going to get their dreams. Really important. The next one is, do you see how isogenics can help you reach your goals? The why? This is so important because, again, you're showing how isogenics can help them. Do you have any questions? Very important. Some people forgot to ask the question. Do you understand how to make money? This is really important. It's why we had to make sure we explain the person how they're going to make the money. And in another conference call, we're going to go on that. But it is really simple, actually. Just send the person to the video tape, another video tape, the video presentation that Kathy Cooper has online. I have a distributor, one of our new distributors, he's been using that really successful as a follow-up. Can you see yourself doing what I'm doing? In other words, sending people to the website or whatever activity you did. This is cool because when you are doing it on social media, people say, yeah, I can do that. When do you like to start? Do you want to go fast or faster? By the way, this clip was kind of cleaned by somebody that's one of my coaches. It's a little different from the one that you have seen most of the time. It's really similar to the one that I've been using for years, with a few differences. But do you want to go faster or faster? And the reason is because here is when we are going to choose how we are going to roll the person. Now, very simple. Now, let me go to the next one. These three, remember, you do it these 5 days a week. I'm not going into the other ones yet. And remember, this can take you just something like 1 to 2 hours a day. But before, let me show you another quote that is so powerful. A famous multimillionaire said, you can do the best presentation ever, but if your prospect is not ready, She will not sign up. You can do the worst presentation, but if your prospect is ready, she will sign up. This is Mark Janelle. Mark Janelle has made, I think, something over $80 million or $60 million in network marketing. Obviously, a person that makes that kind of money, you have to listen to. He was one of my first coaches in the first company I was involved. But anyway, what I tell you, this is so important. The reason I bring this up, it has to do with the one that you saw Andy Jenkins first, and now this one. Don't be afraid. On the contrary, be courageous to present, because the person, if the person is ready, the videos are going to do the job. Now, we have scripts through, but the scripts, the purpose of the scripts is getting the people to the information. Could be to the videos on the internet, could be to a presentation. You are not in the convincing business. You are in the sorting business. Very important. And the reason I'm bringing this again is because the first three steps, people are so afraid to do. And the reason is because they think they can't do it well, and then they are not going to be successful. Bringing it up again in a different format, in a different way. It doesn't matter if you are not doing it perfect. Remember this part of Mark General, really important. Now, the next one is running people. We have business package, the 30-day pack, we have the Pillars of Health pack. Those are the packages that I like it. Now, business packs right now is the best time to prospect with them, and also the 30 days, and for two reasons. First of all, you are doubling the PIV. And let me tell you how this is something I was not planning to, but it's important for you to understand. If you sponsor somebody, for example, with 30 days, and then you sponsor somebody else on the same week with the business, let's suppose that with the president pack, with the 30 days, then you double your PIV. In other words, by the way, as you see, you can mix and match business packs and the 30 days. In other words, you get, instead 25, you're going to get $50, and instead 80 on the president pack, you're going to get $160. Now, on the case of the president pack, the business packs, and also the pay center, the cool thing is that they pay you the regular commission if you sponsor one person 24 hours later, and then if you sponsor that with two or more with one of the business package or a combination of the business package with a 30-day, then you get the other $80 when your normal commission is deposited. It's really cool. But anyway, now, remember that I say at the closing, faster? That's where you are going to promote the packages. You say, well, the fastest way is, and then you shoot the package that you prefer. I love the president pack. The fast is the 30 days. Now, some people say, why do you don't say it's fast or slow? Because one of the things that has been shown over and over again is if a person comes with a smaller package and you say that is the slow way to start, the person is going to start slow because words are really powerful. Well, the next part is teaching. You teach your team to review webinars. We have the webinars here and how to get going. Review how to get going all the time, to have 3-week calls with your prospects. When you're having a 3-week call with the prospects, I mean, the associate prospects, you are training people. And then obviously the isogenics events. Now, as you see, the system is really simple. The first 3, connect, present, and follow-up is something that you do all the time. That's the prospecting side, basically. Then you are enrolling people as a consequence of those first 3 steps. Then, as a consequence, you are teaching people. And then what you're going to do is to repeat that process over and over again. And remember this 3 you do every day. And I keep repeating this because they say repetition is the mother of all skills. Connect, present minimum 2, and follow up. And remember about this. This is so important. Again, this is something that when I heard it about a month ago, changed me. Perfection is the lowest standard of achievement. Doing is the highest. This is amazing. And guys, I just want to tell you, if you follow this system, that's, again, the system is really simple. When you're following the system, I got in. It's so simple that there's no way that you can fail. There's no way that you can fail. Because if you're doing all these things all the time, if you're connecting all the time, if you're presenting all the time, you're following up all the time. Those three are the prospecting. And then what happens? You're going to have enrollees. You're going to enroll people. Then make sure you keep teaching people the same thing that you're learning here. And then you repeat the process over and over again. And guys will never, if you get consistent, you will never have lack of money ever in your life. By the way, everything needs a system, and this is the basic system. I don't want to hear people, I don't know about a system. This is the basic system. Now, what you heard, how to make the list, etc. Of course, that's part of the system, but this is the prospecting system. You don't have to wait to be a genius. You just do it. Just do the basics, the connecting, the presenting, and follow-up, and everything else comes, obviously. But anyway, guys, that's what I wanted to say today. Make sure you tell people that didn't come to this presentation to watch the webinar tomorrow. Watch the other webinars that we have there because they are amazing. And also remember the scripts are going to be downloadable tomorrow at the How to Get Going website. And Alex, I don't know if you have any comments or anybody has a comment.
No, actually, George, this was a great presentation. I really think that if everybody was to follow it, and you know what, I let me correct this. Everybody that has been a top earner in network marketing and that's currently earning money in network marketing is following the system. They're all just different names, but everybody talks. They tell a story, which is presenting, and they ask people to join them, which is follow up. And they enroll people, they teach it, and they repeat the process. So definitely this is very helpful. It will be up tomorrow on the How to Get Going site along with the scripts. And you mentioned before on this tool that we're working, and this tool will be ready sometime at the beginning of August, and it's going to be webinar presentation tool, and it's going to be actually a opportunity presentation. And this is going to be an ongoing webinar that we are going to have daily, a couple of times a day, probably from Monday through Fridays. And we might have a Saturday edition as well. And this will be one great way of presenting where you can, whoever you connect with, your two people, if you make it your goal to bring two people a day to watch this webinar, we will do our job at the webinar presenting, and it will include the BDP leaders, and it's going to absolutely work miracles. So if anybody has any questions, please go ahead and let us know. And all I see here are comments, that they have liked the presentation. Great presentation. Thanking you, George. And Irene said something that's, I want to mention here, because just as you were bringing up this simplicity is the ultimate sophistication, Irene said simple yet powerful. And that's so true. So, George, go ahead.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, thank you, and thank you, everything. It's simple. It's simple, really simple. And it's do you know what is funny? And Alex, and we know that, especially us, that we tend to be very technological people, that we like to complicate things sometimes. But the true thing is that the business is simple. We are the only problem that we sort of tend to complicate everything. But it's really simple. There are many ways to prospect, but the basics are always the same.
Yeah, and let me just point out one thing. I saw you gave another quote here that really made me, the one from Andy Jenkins, and I don't know if you can bring that quote up.
Yeah, I'm going to.
This really reminded me of me. Those of you that know my background, I'm an architect, and I keep on planning, and I'm always striving to do things right, and to dot all the I's, cross all the T's. And what I have been doing that trying to achieve that perfection, trying to prepare that perfect presentation. Those that have been doing, no matter how bad the presentation, they actually have achieved more. And I'm going to go out on a limb here and mention something. When Jimmy Smith first saw the power of two, he saw opportunity in it. He started to see that he could take action and do something to get to that $1 million dream that he had. And unfortunately, I had a handicap. I knew numbers very well. I have some engineering background as well. And, when I saw this power of two, where you could go from 2 to 4, 8, 16, 32, and, basically in 12 periods of time, you could get all the way up to 8,000 plus people. Uh, I
Yeah.
said, this doesn't work. And you know what? I was right, because perfection didn't work. It would never get to 8,000. But Jimmy started doing, and of course, he didn't achieve the 8,000, but he achieved several hundred, then a few thousands, and now he has dozens of thousands of people in his team. And it's because he followed what Andrew Jenkins says. Perfection is the lowest standard of achievement, and doing is the highest. So while many of us are stuck in that perfection cycle, always preparing for the presentation, always trying to do the best, those that are doing are actually the ones achieving. So I really thank you, George, for sharing that quote with us. So, we're past the
Thank you
top
very
of
much.
the hour. So if you have anything to say in closing.
Just really short, something that you just say about the numbers. Remember, there is a presentation on one of the webinars that talks about dreams and numbers. It's one of the webinars you just check on the archive. You can look at the numbers. But anyway, thank you for your comments, Alex. And anyway, I hope that this is going to help a lot of people to understand. Let's go to the basics, and the basics apply to everything. Doesn't matter how sophisticated the tools are. Anyway, thank you very much.